It's Saturday, May 17th, 2025, and we've got a ton of weather to talk about today, man. We've got an outbreak sequence on the way. There's going to be multiple days of more severe weather, and I just wanted to make this video to keep you updated on what's going on because I don't think we're going to have a lot of time to make videos over the next few days because we're just going to be live all the time, and I know a lot of y'all really depend on these short form videos to kind of get all the information in one area, so let's roll through this. But real quick, before we dive into the details of the forecast, let's recap what's happened yesterday. We had a major tornado outbreak. We were live for 13 hours covering this crazy system that spawned tornadoes in Illinois. There was one that went through St. Louis. Look at this thing. You could see it through the arch camera there in St. Louis. It just about went through downtown, caused a ton of damage out there across St. Louis, and we were live for that. We were also live for this tornado. It went through Linton, Indiana, Sullivan County, Indiana. There was another big one and over towards Marion, Illinois, and unfortunately this led to a lot of damage. And the last I heard is we're getting close to 25, maybe 30 fatalities reported as a result of this tornado outbreak. And the number's still going up because search and rescue is still going on in a lot of these places. And we've got a lot of injury reports. And of course, unfortunately, there are hundreds of people today that are homeless as a result of yesterday's unfortunate tornado outbreak. Now, Colin Gross on Twitter put together this graphic here that shows one of our most prolific storms yesterday actually was a supercell that traveled for about 500 miles from the middle of Missouri all the way over into eastern Kentucky. This is the one that is responsible for most of our fatalities, actually. A lot of those came from London, Kentucky, and Somerset, Kentucky, between Wayne, Pulaski, and Laurel counties. This is over here close to the weather house. We were live last night as this thing was ripping up communities out here, and unfortunately, this is one of the places where they're still doing search and rescue right now. We don't know what the overall death toll is going to be, unfortunately, because the damage is so prolific out here. Now, this wasn't producing a tornado the entire time, but it produced several tornadoes, and it's just unbelievable that this thing traveled that far. And it was strong. We don't know the rating yet. In my opinion, it's probably going to be rated an EF4. Who knows? There's engineers and stuff out there trying to figure it out right now. But this thing ate a literal path through the forest between London and Somerset. Look at this. You could actually see it on satellite this morning. You can see the scar on the earth. This is Somerset, this is London, and this is the path that it tore in between those two areas. Now, of course, it also hit Somerset and London, both on the southern side. These pictures here are from Deputy Alan Turner in Laurel County, Kentucky, and it's just so unfortunate seeing this. This isn't even the worst of it. I've seen some really crazy looking damage photos from WX Chasing on YouTube. If you want to look up that video, it really puts into perspective how bad it was, especially around London, Kentucky. And once again, y'all, you can look at this and you can just tell that unfortunately the number of injured and the number of people that we've lost is going to continue to go up. Even though we had a lot of people watching from this area last night and we did have tornado warnings and all that stuff, there's only so much you can do whenever the tornadoes are this strong. A tornado of this caliber is not common in this part of the world. A lot of people just didn't know what to do. The London Corbin Airport was also hit here and they lost their medical helicopters, and there's a lot of homes and a lot of residential areas around that airport that were unfortunately completely obliterated as well. So once again, it was a crazy outbreak. Unfortunately, it happened, and now we've got to work on getting everybody back on their feet, which is what I'm going to be focused on over the next couple of days, while also continuing to relay information about new severe weather outbreaks that are about to happen. So our hands are kind of full over here at the weather house, but we're able to give back and we're able to help people because of you. Last night, a lot of you beautiful people went over to the y'allsquad.org and you were very generous. You hit this donate button and we raised about $80,000 from y'all in a very short period of time. I went in there and I stacked another $10,000 on top of that, so we've got 90 grand to go out into these communities and immediately get assistance going. We're talking with local officials, we're seeing what people need, and we're just going to do whatever makes sense as we feel it out. We don't have a complete plan yet, but what's going to help is more resources, right? You're not required to do it. We're not asking anybody to donate, but if you've got an extra dollar or two, whatever you've got, consider going over to the y'allsquad.org and helping us get that number maybe over 100,000, 150,000. That goes a long way in really making a difference in these people's lives out here who might get missed by FEMA, who might get missed by insurance, right? That's where we try to fill the gap. We go in there and we say, who are the people that need stuff? Like who's taken care of, who's not? And we try to fill the gap. And the Y'all Squad's going to show up, not just in Somerset and London out here in Kentucky, but we're also going to be out there in Illinois and Missouri. So every dollar counts. Once again, I can't thank you enough to everybody that's went over and donated. And make sure you follow us on Twitter and YouTube and Facebook and all that good stuff as we release rapid fire fire updates about what we're doing on the ground in these communities. Now, unfortunately, we're not done with the severe weather. I'm going to quickly go over our severe weather threats for the next couple of days, and then we're probably going to go live over the next couple of days. So we're going to be doing more nowcasting than forecasting, but we do have a slight risk of severe weather today up in the Northeast and an enhanced risk of severe weather down here in the DFW metro up into Oklahoma and portions of Arkansas. This is mostly going to be driven by a hail threat. There's a little bit of a tornado threat too, but I would be looking out for a major hailstorm today around Dallas as the storms come through. This is what the radar could look like today around 3, 4, 5 p.m. Eastern. That's when those supercells are first going to start lighting up down here around Dallas. And once again, when they first start blowing up, they're going to have huge hail possible. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw over 3-inch in diameter hail in a couple of these supercells. And then we're going to continue to have a wind and hail threat up here in upstate New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, and even portions of Canada as well. We're going to have some strong winds possible with that lingering low pressure system that's going to be hanging out over the Great Lakes. Now, by the time we get to 9 and 10 p.m., the storms are going to be moving into Arkansas. They're going to be floating around up here in Oklahoma, but the main threat is still going to be hail here as we have major storms working now east of Dallas. Now, once the sun goes down and we lose the heating of the day, we are going to lose some of the instability that's responsible for keeping these storms going. So as they move over into Louisiana and Mississippi and Alabama, they will fizzle out a little bit. But of course, it doesn't stop there. We're going to have more storms as we go into the day on the 18th. Another very good chance of seeing significant hail and some isolated tornadoes, especially in Kansas there as we go into the afternoon and evening. We're going to have supercells that are possibly going to be capable of producing very large hail and a couple of strong tornadoes. And the SPC Outlook shows that as well over here. Wichita, Kansas, Hutchinson, Emporia, Topeka, Salina, you guys are all under a enhanced risk of severe weather. This is going to be driven by a large tornado chance. Okay, we've got a 10% hatched risk here right in Wichita. That's kind of like the epicenter of our outlook here. This means that we've got a 10% probability of seeing a tornado within 25 miles of any given point in the yellow there. And the hatched indicator means that some of those tornadoes could be strong, producing EF2 to EF5 damage. The brown is where we've got a 5% chance. The severe weather is going to continue into the day 3 outlook, and our main event's likely going to be on Monday here with a large enhanced risk already for Kansas City, Jefferson City, Springfield, Missouri, Joplin's included in there, Tulsa, Oklahoma City, and then down towards the DFW metro once again. This is going to be another major instance of severe weather for the country, and it doesn't stop there. Unfortunately, another major severe weather outbreak is going to be possible on Tuesday with an emphasis on the Nashville area down towards Tupelo, Greenwood, Florence, and Huntsville, Alabama. You guys are included in this. Does look like a significant outbreak of severe weather, including tornadoes, is going to be possible on Tuesday. Now, what the heck is causing all this? Well, we've got another little ridge that's built up here, allowing for a ton of Gulf moisture to build back up in the central United States. And notice we've got another trough building back here in the west. This is our pattern that we've been in, and this is what's going to continuously bring about severe weather over the next few days. Anytime you see a trough go negatively tilted here, we've got plenty of Gulf moisture in place. We're going to have the lift available for storms to form along that boundary, and we're going to have a ton of them over the next few days. But notice what happens here, especially as we go into Monday. We're going to have a Vort Max at the bottom of this jet stream here. We're going to have an increased area of winds that really kicks up here, and that's why we actually expect the severe weather to be worse on Monday and Tuesday. We're going to have the trough in place. We're going to have the moisture in place even today and tomorrow, but we're really going to have that upper level support as there's a little bit more of an ejection with our jet stream, especially on Tuesday, where we could have low level jet winds that exceed 50, 60 knots, and that will certainly aid in the tornado threat that will likely be with us in the deep south. So once again, over the next several days, we're going to have continued chances for severe weather. I don't really want to get into the specifics of timing and stuff, especially for the ones that are going to be farther out like Monday and Tuesday. So just make sure you stay tuned. We will be live each of these days giving real-time updates. But I do have some good news. After we get past Tuesday, it does look like we're going to enter a somewhat quieter pattern where a ridge is going to try to form in the west and some cooler air is going to try to stick around in the east. Now, this will likely promote some storms, maybe some wind makers that will kind of slide down this trough axis here, but that will kind of slide down the trough here. This is very common in June when we have those wind bags that like to slide down through Iowa and Illinois and stuff like that. But the major synoptic severe weather pattern will be shut down if we actually end up in this pattern. And it looks like that's definitely going to be the case because, as seen here on the SPC Outlook, even all the way through 10 days from now, we're expected to be warmer than average in the west, much cooler than average over here in the east. And that's going to be much more favorable for wetter weather in the east, but overall quieter weather in terms of tornadoes, hail, and severe weather. So that's all the weather talk I have for you today. Thank you for being here, and thank you for giving us the opportunity to go help people out in these communities. I seriously can't thank you all enough for giving us the job that we have. I know I go on about it all the time, but everybody that works on this team is living the dream right now. We want to help people. We want to be involved in this weather stuff. So I'm hearing all kinds of messages on Facebook. It's all over the place. I appreciate the praise, and there's lots of people saying, thank you, Ryan, for doing what you do, but don't do that. You don't have to thank me. I need to thank you for giving me the best job in the world and giving me the ability and the platform to help people. This is not a me thing. This is all of us, right? So thank you all so much, and we'll be live again later today maybe, or tomorrow. So make sure you're subscribed and you got those notifications turned on, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.